Gaming Geek here with a retrospective video on 2019 and some of my favorite 3D prints from this past year. Ever since I got my Prusa MK3S for my birthday this past April, it has been running non-stop, making all of these awesome prints, and I really made some headway in making terrain for a lot of my games, and so it's been really fun having that machine. I did have a flash forward finder previously, and as good as that printer is, just having the larger print size and print bed on the Prusa has opened up the things that I'm able to print and to be able to be a little bit more creative, and expanded my ability to make things that are a little bit larger. So I've been really excited about being able to use my printer to augment my games. So I'm just going to go through some of my favorite ones that I've printed from 2019. One of the first things I did after I received my printer was to start printing out buildings, because that was something I really wanted to fill up my war table with, using it for all of my fantasy skirmishes. And so I really like these buildings from Printable Scenery, and probably my favorite building out of their entire line is this Governor's Mansion. And we actually gave one of these away to my Patreon supporters in the monthly giveaways, but I think this is a really neat looking building and is really versatile, and so I think this is my favorite out of all of their really good scenery that they have available. Also for the game Warcry, I printed out these tribal ramparts, which I think looks really awesome along with these stones, and that has really been a cool way to make the scenery for Warcry really fun and interesting. And these gates here are really awesome. Also, I was a late backer for their most recent Kickstarter, basically for what are the goblins. And so this little moon that I use primarily just for a base to showcase my goblin army has been really cool as well. So moving right along, I was introduced this year to RM Printable Terrain, and I really like this altar that's showcased here, and their prints are really good. They just finished up their Kickstarter, and this huge massive model over here is a tree house, which I still have to paint, but I like it a lot. It is a massive model, but they make some really good terrain, a very dynamic terrain, which I'm really excited about. Here in the front we have from Fat Dragon Games. I just love these beholders. They can't call them beholders because of licensing, but that's basically what they are. I think they call them eye tyrants. And then moving over here in the center of the board, we have the game that I've been most excited about this 2019 year, and that is Madara. I created a whole grid system using high grounds, and I've been able to print out a ton of these tiles for that game that I think I'm going to be able to use for some other games as well moving along. And then obviously sort of game management for Madara. There's a ton of cards, and so someone made these available online on Thingiverse, and it's been great to just manage the hundreds of cards that you need to manage for that game. Also from Printable Scenery are these trees. I really like these trees a lot. I've been waiting for STL file that has the leaves that you can print onto the trees and not just the branches. And so these are some of my favorite trees as well. Over here I have these buildings. So these are the first buildings, modern day buildings that I've ever printed off my 3D printer. And I think they turned out really well. I really like my little storefront game store that I was able to make out of this print. And these are from Corvus Belli. Really impressed with their files and the fact that you can print all of these without supports. And that's been really fun to be able to augment the game Crisis Protocol, which has been one of my favorite skirmish games from this past year as well. So that's been awesome having these files. I do wish that they had more sort of modern urban style buildings, but hopefully with the popularity of Marvel Crisis Protocol, they will come out with more STL files with modern buildings. But in the meantime, I'm really impressed with these and really like them a lot. And then sort of to wrap things up, I do have a couple of random things. The first one is over here, Baby Yoda. And I think this print also is available on Thingiverse for free. And I printed out a number of these just to gift to people, some of my friends, for this holiday season. This doesn't have to do with tabletop games, but I did recently buy a Nintendo Switch, and here are a couple of accessories that are also on Thingiverse for free. This guy over here, Mario, obviously, it is an awesome holder for your Switch. And so this guy is just so thematic and functional. I really like that design a lot. I have these Joy-Con control holders, which just makes it so that you can snap these into place. And the person who made these available on Thingiverse also went through the trouble of putting in the name and the logo for the Switch right here, which I think is awesome. And so I've printed out a couple of these as well so that our multiplayer games we can play, just make these little Joy-Cons a little bit more comfortable while you're holding them. That's pretty much it for some of my favorite things that I've printed from this past year. There's so much more. If you look at my shelf over here, you see that I have printed out so many things from 2019, just even in the past 8 months. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of awesome STL files the community is going to be providing to us so that we can fill up our boards and our tables and our games with 3D printed options. I really think as a gamer, as a hobbyist, that 3D printing, it has opened up doors for a lot of us to be able to be creative with our games, and it just augments the experience all the more. And so if you haven't gotten a 3D printer yet, I definitely suggest that you can do it. They've come down in price so much. You can buy a Creality Ender for less than $300. That's a pretty good beginner printer. And so you'll be able to print almost all of these things that you see here. One of the things I'm looking forward to in 2020 is getting a resin printer to be able to print off some miniatures. And so hopefully one of the things you can look forward to in 2020 is seeing me making videos, reviewing and showcasing some of the things that I can pull off with resin printers. But in the meantime, I'm going to still be using my 2 filament printers and keeping them busy with a lineup of really awesome prints. Also, check below and click on Patreon link to see what giveaway we have. Each month we have a drawing and a giveaway, usually showcasing one of these items here, a 3D printed object or something like that. You'll likely see this treehouse from RM as a giveaway in the near future. But thanks so much. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we will see what is in store for the year 2020.